The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited today, but I'm always excited, aren't I? Well, my guest today, Francine Houston. This woman is awesome. And before I even pull her up, she had a quote on her Facebook page that I thought imp- indicates who she is. And that quote is, take me or leave me, accept me or walk away, love me or hate me, but don't make me feel less of a person if I don't fit your standards. I am me and I love me as I am. What a beautiful quote. Such a beautiful quote. So, how are you today? I can't hear you. How are you today? While she's pulling that up, let me go ahead and share her bio. Francine Houston is a multi talented individual who enjoys fashion, graphics and media, and writing. She is a graduate of the College of Creative Studies in Detroit, Michigan, with a bachelor's degree in communication design. Francine also earned an associate's degree in applied graphic design from Mott Community College in Flint, Michigan, and in fashion design from the International Academy of Design and Technology in Troy, Michigan. Furthermore, she is a graduate of the School of the Bible, too, in Southfield, Michigan. She is also the founder of two businesses, FH Designs, for which she is the principal fashion designer, and Cineik Media. Francine was recognized for her accomplishments with the Excellence Award for Women of Distinction magazine in 2015. Francine is also a member of Lupus Detroit and helps with their events as much as possible. As a lupus survivor, she wrote a book about her battle with the disease entitled Lupus Journey, published in 2016. Its a sequel, Life After Lupus, was released in 2018. She was featured in Lupus Now magazine in fall of 2014 and graced the October 18th cover for the periodical Discovering You. Her third book is Strength of a Woman, The Last Journey, a poetry and short story book. In 2019, she published a self care guide called Everyday Heroes, Learning to Cope and Heal. She recently published in 2022 an anthology with other women called I Am Woman with the Vision, with Verlisa Waring and poetry book Random Thoughts. Well, listen, I hope your audio is working now. And I am just so excited to have you, such a young woman with so that you've done so much. That is just wonderful. And Raul, he says, I love you, Vera. I love you too. And thank you for listening. He also says, let's talk about it. We're getting ready to talk about lupus and being the strength of a woman, what it takes to be a strength of a woman. And so I am going to give you the floor And I just want you to share your journey, the traumas, the dramas, the if there were any abuses and the victories, yes. So let me give you the floor. I don't hear you. Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you what. All right. I don't know what we're having some technical difficulties here. So while she's checking that out, let me go to a couple of commercials. And since I know that Raw is here, let me share with you something that's getting ready to happen in June in New York City.
Ah, you amazing souls. I see that you have a lot of questions, and I understand. And all this is about the upcoming mental health conference right here in New York City on the 24th and 25th of April. I understand more than anyone else, attending an in-person conference is very overwhelming. And you may have a lot of concerns about the audience and selling your products and the value of your talk. However, I want to assure you that as a speaker, your voice and experiences have immense value. Your journey, struggles, and the person you have become are incredibly powerful, and by sharing your story on stage, you're offering something unique and impactful. Remember that you are not just selling a product or service, but rather sharing a part of yourself that can inspire and make a difference in the lives of those who listen. As for attendees, please believe in the influence you have cultivated through your followers. New York City is a vibrant hub of energy, and I have no doubt that many of your amazing followers will be eager to hear you speak and meet you in person, as well as experience the incredible energy you have to share. Your presence alone will be a magnet for those who resonate with your message. You see, I speak from experience when I say that this conference is an opportunity for you to make a significant impact. Your trauma talk is a vision that has been brewing for a while. Now it is a reality. See that? I want to encourage you now to click that link and help me to make a difference right now. All you need to do is take the first step and invest in yourself and register, and Rob will meet you in person in New York City, where we can connect and share more powerful energy. This is Rob, and I love you all.
All right, all right. You do not want to miss your trauma talk in New York City, and it's coming up in June. Raul is here. He may come into our studio here and kind of maybe just give a plug and let people know the exact date. And so you're more than welcome to come on, Raul, to do that. So, do we have sound now, Francine?
I don't know. I
Yes,
mean, I
we
did what
do. Yes, we
I
do. Yes,
just
we
got on
do.
and got back on. So,
Okay, well, that did it. That did it. Well, listen, I'm going to give you an opportunity to share with our audience more about Francine Houston.
hi, my name is Francine Houston. I'm a lupus survivor. Um, I got diagnosed at the age of 18. Um, before that, I dealt with molestation with a relative. I'm not saying no names. It was a male relative because some people talk about not female, it was a male relative. But anyway, I ended up getting diagnosed with lupus at the age of 18. I was just coming to some type of event in Washington, like close up for the high schoolers, and on the plane there, I ended up throwing up on the plane. I ended up breaking out in a rash, and my hair just started falling out. I didn't know what it was. Everybody thought I was contagious. So when I came back, like in April of that same year, 1998, they diagnosed me with lupus. I didn't know what lupus was. I had a coach. Her name was Yvette. She told me what lupus was because she had it herself. And like at that time, lupus was just affecting my skin and in my hair because a lot of my hair just came out. And then my skin was broke out. Like I had a butterfly rash across my face from my cheek to the other cheek across my nose. Um, Back then, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't like eternal. Like it wasn't affecting my organs. I had like a kidney specialist, but he was like, your kidneys is like complicated. And I wasn't really taking that much kidney medicine at all. Like I was just taking prednisone and Plaquenil, but my mother is about to sue them because I was on prednisone for like 5 years and it has very bad side effects, like horrible side effects. Like I had to get tested for diabetes. I had to get tested for hypoglycemia. I had to get tested for bone density. If I had, osteoporosis, she's all type of stuff. So for like from 18 to 29, I dealt with it. And by the time I turned 29, it's like I was like in remission for like, I say like 5 years because at 34, I started having complications again. I was just like, I was trying to avoid going back to the doctor. But eventually I had to go back there. And when I went back, I wasn't able to go to the bathroom. So that's when lupus wasn't just surface like discoid, it wasn't skin and hair. It started attacking my organs, which was my kidneys. And I couldn't go to the bathroom. It was like a whole week that was trying to get me to go. They was taking, I think they called it enema. They was trying to get me just to go to the bathroom, and I could not do it. So I sat there, and they was like, "We just gonna have to give you emergency diagnosis, dialysis." So they strapped like these 3 tubes on my neck, and I had to rush to the dialysis place in the hospital. And I was just like, "What is this?" And it hurted so bad because like they literally sewed it on my neck. I still have a scar on there. And they was like right before I was about to leave, they was like, you can't leave with those open like that. We got to give you a catheter. And I was like, what the heck is a catheter? And it was like, well, it's the tubing is inside your body. It's like 2 tubes is coming out. So I have like a scar right here from the catheter being in my neck. And like after that surgery, it felt like a boulder like on my shoulder. And I was like, what is this? So I sat there and I was just like in so much pain. I had to take like all type of painkillers to get rid of the pain that was on my shoulder. It just felt like somebody just put an extra weight on this shoulder. This one was fine, but it was an extra weight on here because they had to insert those 2 needles for my catheter. Like one for the blood to go in, the other one for it to go out. So after I left, I was like, so do I still take, I'm still on dialysis? And I was like, yeah, you got to come 3 days a week. Either you take the ambulance, come and pick you up at your house, or your family can take you. And it was right up the street. So my family took turns taking me up there. And then before I left the hospital, they gave me chemo for my kidney. And I was like, okay, this is just too much. So when I got home, I threw up. And I was like, okay. And it was like, well, your next trip, you got to come back up here and do chemo again. And I don't know what happened if the insurance gonna pay it or not, but they switched me off for chemo. I only had one thing of chemo, so they switched me to the cell sub pills. But it was just as strong. I wasn't throwing up or nothing, but they had me on some strong pills to take besides the prednisone.
Wow. You have been through it with lupus, and you mentioned a trauma that you had, and I'm so sorry for that. Were you a child when that happened, or?
Yeah, I was a child, and I think when I got older, I finally spoke out about it. I told my auntie and my mom what was going on, and it stopped after that because the last time it happened, I was asleep and I woke up and I was like, okay, this is too much because I was getting older in age, and I was like, if he do something, what if I end up getting pregnant by my own cousin? So I was like, I have to say something. Like now, my cousin is married. Majority of all my cousins are married, but now this cousin finally got married and go on with his life. And I had to like really forgive from all of that stuff.
And
But
they didn't press charges against him?
he was a kid, so like nobody did anything. He was a kid. He just stopped.
Well, I hope that he stopped permanently, because that's just, I'm really sorry that happened to you. We've got some comments. Raul, he says strength. He says power now. And he says he loves this, that you're so powerful. Yes, yes, yes. And we're going to talk about your books. So let
Okay.
me pull up the one that this show is titled after. Let me pull that up first because I want us to talk about. Um, oh, okay, I don't see it here.
Was it Lupus Journey or Strength of a Woman?
Strength of a Woman.
Well, I got the book cover right here, but I don't know if that's
Okay,
gonna help.
yeah, I don't think you gave me the book cover for that.
For Strength of a Woman,
I don't think
it's on
so.
it's on the flyer.
Oh, okay. Well, let me pull up the flyer. All right, because it's so small, it was hard to see. But let me pull up the flyer. Okay, Strength of a Woman. Okay, so tell us about this.
Um, that's the professional handbook, but I can tell you about Strength of a Woman.
Well, tell me about the professional handbook since
Oh,
I have it up.
okay, yeah, that's fine. I
Okay.
did that with Phenomenal Expressions. The visionary for that one is Akia Roberts. And last year, she wanted us to write a book about professionalism to help people who are in these fields and like who either want a job or they want to work as a business owner. And we was just trying to tell them ways they could like survive in a professional atmosphere. And my mine was about creative fields or working as a creative professional either in a workplace or working as a business owner, because I could tell, I still do creative stuff as a business owner, but I work in a creative field. I make clothes for the military. But throughout my chapter, I talked about how throughout my life I did creative fields. Like I was in high school, I worked at what's it called? We had a studio inside of a my high school. Not my high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was dang it, I can't remember what it's called. Uh Skill Center. That's what we had. We had a skill center, and it was about a bunch of different students from different high schools that come together and they learn skills. So
Okay,
there
so is that what your book was about? The
I basically talked about different ways you grow as a creative in that field and what you can learn, because sometimes being creative can be, you can burn out from it. You just get tired of it. So I gave them tips on how to keep that creative juices going in the workplace and then in their business. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So
And I do have Strength of a
okay.
Woman. So let's talk about that. And hold on. Let's see. He says she should come and tell her story on stage. Yes, I have told her about it, and I'm going to remind her again so
Okay.
she will know about it. And then are we having a book corner as well? Yes, yes, you will be able to sell your books at this conference.
Okay.
Yes, Strength of a Woman. So let's talk about that.
I basically combine all my poetry together, and I made this book because I was a poet at first. I never wrote books. I was just poetry. I used to do open mics in Detroit when I was younger, and just go up there and just say how I felt, through a poem. Or like when I went to my community college, I took a poetry class and I wrote my first poem called Funny How Things Change. It was basically dedicated to lupus, but I started noticing my poetry was mostly about health. So I was just like,
Hmm.
the title Strength of a Woman came from me thinking about my strength, my health and me being a woman, because I wanted to break away from lupus. I didn't want people to say, okay, she has lupus. I said, let
Yes.
me identify myself as a woman, identify myself as Francine now, because you already heard my story pretty much.
Well, you know what? Share some of your poetry. Eh,
Okay. Um, I did. Let me find one. Okay, let me do. Okay, I can do the poem about me becoming a Christian.
Okay.
As soon as I can find
Do
it.
you have the poem Strength of a Woman?
Oh yeah, I got that poem too.
Okay, well
How
let's
you knew
hear
that was a poem?
because I just thought if it's called Strength of a Woman, I would assume
It was a
there's got to be a
poem.
poem called
It's a
Strength of a
poem.
Woman.
Okay, the strength of a woman, strong enough for a man, but pH balanced for a woman. I thought my strength was in my performance, what car I drove, how many figures were in my bank account, having props and shout outs. I was quickly reminded that my strength as a woman was my personality, kindness, and caring. To have healthy relationships, to be healthy, not showing off everything I own, but being compassionate, humble, and having self control. To be a helpmate, pure, effective, and modest, to lean on the grace of God, to be thankful to see another day. It's good to have a good performance, to have a good car to drive, to be able to give more, but strength comes from God. The joy of the Lord is my strength. To have a quiet and meek spirit, to learn to love unconditionally, to be a blessing. So that's
Oh,
strength
that's
of a woman.
beautiful. I want to, and you mentioned, let me come back on screen here. You mentioned to show it's not showing what I own.
Yeah, yeah, because
Let's talk about that.
I don't know. I mean, I came from an era where I thought success was, I mean, it's good to have those things. Like you'll go to church, they talk about prosperity. The first thing you think about is money. And it's like after having all these health challenges, I was like, my prosperity first is my life. I am here. I'm alive. That wealth is going to come. But it changed my mindset about what I thought success was, because everybody has their own definition of success, and mine have changed. Like most people who are millionaires, they don't show their wealth. They're not flashy. Like I started doing like how could I say, workshops or taking classes from millionaires. They don't show their wealth. They just look like average people. They're not flashy. And I started realizing that's not success. Like wearing your money on you. Like I got $1,000 shoes. I got $200 jacket. Nothing wrong with that. I think billionaires and trillionaires can do that. But if you really want to keep your money, you wouldn't wear or show it off so much. So it
I
changed
love
my
it.
mindset, because I started listening to other people who actually made it. They making six figures, they making seven figures, they making eight figures, and they not flashy like that. They was like, let me wait until I'm at a certain point so I can buy this car or that car. I've been, listening to Dave Ramsey and everything. So it changed my mindset on everything.
That's awesome. My light just fell, so I'm
Uh
trying to
oh.
fix it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're having all kinds of issues here today. But
Yeah.
anyway, so what you're saying about that is, I'm so glad I asked you that question because so often those, sometimes those of us that may not have much, we want to show, well, I got this and I got that. I've got Jordan, tennis shoes, and I didn't spend $500 on a purse, but yet I'm having a hard time paying my bills. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And so wealthy people know their mindset is totally different.
Yeah. They have a
And
different mindset. Yes.
absolutely. And so it's good that you are going through those kinds of self improvement and self knowledge, self learning. That's important, people. That is so important. Gain knowledge, gain wisdom. That is very important. And so, do you have another poem that you can get to right quick that's in
Yeah.
your
The
book?
one I was gonna do before that, it's called "I Come a Mighty Long Way." Um, I came a mighty long way. I used to think I wouldn't see another day. My home I used to live in was not a very friendly place. The people would rat and rave all day. I was always felt like I was being chased. Most of the time, I was by a long switch. I had the nature of sin. It started within. It was what I was born into. I tried to do good things to please my parents and grandparents so I wouldn't get a beating. but they misunderstood my good for evil, so I felt defeated. It was getting harder and harder to stay there anywhere, to run away from the blows and pains, my mother's anger from her own pains and stress. See, my mother went through a lot to keep my sister and me. She received a couple of blows herself and regular black eyes. So I took the pain, transferred my anger for good. I started looking at my life in many different ways. I knew one day it would be a brighter day. To reach a point in my life where things changed for the better, instead of receiving blows and harsh names and getting a gift full of cheddar to ease the pain, money can't make you like or even love all the pain that I went through with you. Like I said before, I came a mighty long way. I used to think I wouldn't see another day. By the age of adolescence, my mother became my outrage. If I didn't do what she said in a second or two, I would be on the floor with two black eyes, mind you. My
Oh,
sister tried to help so I wouldn't suffer long, but my mother's rage exploded, so I had to hurry up and go. If it wasn't for my sister getting me, then I wouldn't be writing this poem with a pen, with a paper and a pen. No, my sister back then, I would be writing this poem with a paper and a pen. But prayer works miracles. I knew someone was praying for me back then. I knew nothing about God, Jesus, church, but I knew all that the people who knew God win by so I felt a strange hunger for God at the age of 11. I was thinking I wanted to know God before I tried to get to heaven. But my mother and grandparents got on me. I wanted the Bible to read, but it was like they really didn't even try to understand me. I finally convinced my mother to take me to the Bible store. That filled a void in my heart and so much more. See, I was tired of always hearing about God. I wanted to find out myself to see if he was an angry God with a rod. When I started reading, I found out God is good. He blesses people who obey him and love him to do the things they should. I really I didn't really know anything about God then, but I was tired of the pain. I was tired of coming home catching all the rain. Being oppressed, but faking like everything was all right. But deep down, I had a deep hurt in my heart that only God could fix. I think it was no sight. I held that hurt with me a couple of more years. By 15, I wanted God so much, so what? But I was afraid of my peers. By 16, I was tired and weak. I couldn't stand being in the clubs watching all the freaks. At that time, I wanted God badly. When He came in my heart, I was really, really glad. All of my pain went away. He left his joy in there and is here today. It's still here
oh
today.
my
Sorry.
goodness. Oh my goodness. And so, your poem demonstrates the statistic that 64% of adults who have the kinds of issues that your mother had
Yeah.
stems from childhood. So she probably, and you talked about some of the things that she had experienced as well,
Yeah,
and you
she. Oh, go ahead.
some of the things that she had experienced as well, and for you to have to suffer abuse, um,
Yeah, cause my mother was in an abusive relationship. My father would beat her all the time. So she ended up divorcing him like right after she had me and my sister. She had to happen to divorce him, and I think my family was mad because I came because it was like, how you gonna have two kids by an abusive man? And it's like I came out, but I look like my auntie. But my dad kept on saying I look like him. So I used to think she will beat me majority of the time because I look like my dad. That's what I thought. Because I even wrote a poem called "Look Like." I was like, I must look like him because you beat me a whole lot more than you beat the other. Beat my sister or something like that. But
wow,
I just felt like back then she was really. I mean, she's not like that now. She became a Christian, but back then it was just
she didn't know better.
she didn't know better. Yeah.
Right. And when you don't know, you don't know, and she was just basically the cycle of what she experienced. She was doling it out on you and your sister, but you more so than your sister.
That's
And
what I felt
so,
like. I mean, I could
and
be
so,
wrong.
right. But parents, recognize the things that you have gone through yourself and understand the impact that those things have on your
Listen.
children. When we know better, we do better. So don't beat yourself up If you're hearing what I'm saying and you're saying, oh, I'm a bad mother, no, that's not what or I'm a bad father. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when we know better, we do better. And speaking of that, there is a relationship 1 hour workshop coming up right after my show. And I want to promote that for a minute here. This is going to be
Okay.
very awesome. So let me pull it up and share it with our audience. We pull it up here.
I may need to go.
Well, hey, it's tonight at 8 o'clock. I know you.
Okay.
I hope you can come
I
because
can come.
it's going to be awesome. So you can even register now. I'll put the link in the chat so that you can register. And let me give give Janelle a couple of minutes to kind of share what this is all about.
Hey everybody, for all you married couples out there that feel like you're stuck in roommate status, this is for you. I am doing a free workshop on the 5 rules of romance and intimacy on April 11th. It's going to be a 1-hour free workshop to help you and others who are struggling to keep the fire hot in your marriage or relationship. You know, it does take work. And a lot of us don't actually understand what intimacy truly is. Most of us think it's just sex, but it's so much deeper. It is the intimate experience that requires so many facets. And to be honest, you know, it does take work, but sometimes we don't actually know what that work looks like. So if this is you and you really want to know what are we missing in our relationship that would bring back that passion and that connection, I invite you to join us for the free workshop. Click the link below.
Yes, the link is in the chat. So and I'm going to put it in our private chat so that you can attend. It's
Okay.
And this is for people who are in a relationship or people who are contemplating a relationship, or if you're not in a relationship but you want some ideas of what you need to be looking for in a relationship, then I want to encourage you to attend. The workshop is tonight at 8 o'clock. The link is in the chat and I've just put it back up on. Oh, I'm trying to. Yeah, the link is in the chat. So go to the chat and register now for this workshop. And while I'm doing this, I might as well do a couple of more commercials right quick. So we'll be right back.
Hallelujah.
Hey there, Jason McNamara here, and I'm about to drop something truly game-changing your way. Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 grind, feeling stuck in obtaining the life you deserve and craving something more? Well, listen up, because I've got something you will not want to miss. Introducing the No More 9-to-5 Club Professional Membership, your ticket to freedom and success in the entrepreneurial world. With our professional membership, you'll get access to weekly coaching sessions, pre-recorded trainings, and a vibrant community of fellow game changers. You get access to technology that will allow you to automate passive income streams, as well as unlock all of our expert-led trainings in the back office so you know where to go for good advice when you need it. You will also use the club to build up a residual income stream with a 2-tier 33% affiliate commission unlocked at this level, allowing you to help people help themselves while generating a residual passive income stream for yourself. And here's the kicker. For a limited time, you can unlock all of this just for a $1.11 donation to our club foundation.
I like this one.
Your first month is on us. So what's holding you back? Click the link below, make your donation, and let's start building the life and business of your dreams together. Here at the No More 9-to-5 Club, we're all about turning dreams into reality and smashing through those glass ceilings.
That's what I'm talking about, Jake.
Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, we've got the tools and support you need to thrive and evolve. And don't forget to sign up for our bootcamp training. It's the perfect way to kickstart your journey and unlock even more perks. So what are you waiting for? Join the No More 9-to-5 Club today and let's make those dreams a reality. I can't wait to see you on the inside. You only get one now. Invest it in your better future. Let's make magic happen together.
No more 9 to 5. Let me tell you about this club. It's a mastermind networking club that will provide you with opportunity to even sell your products, to expose you to other networkers who are willing and ready to either share business ideas together and or network with you to help you build your business. There are also all kinds of courses and training that's a part of this membership, and you can
Excuse me.
join now. Bless you. You
Thank
can
you.
join now for $1.11, and that goes towards helping veterans because veterans are a part of their platform and a part of what they do. Even if you have a 9 to 5 job, this club will enable you to continue to look at other options for additional streaming of income. And so check it out. No more 9 to 5. The link is in the chat, in the comments. So sign up, register. Tell them Vera sent you. You don't want to miss that. We've got a couple more comments coming on. Um, okay. He says, I have not left in tears. Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't leave in tears, but I'm glad that you understand and can feel her pain and the things that she's gone through throughout her life. And now I'm going to pull up another one of your books. Oh, before I do have another commercial. So let me play
Oh,
that.
okay.
Mama Knows creates high quality products that are available to be used on multiple textures of hair. Her goal is to bridge the gap to stop people from having to use multiple products because of families with multiple hair types. Her products are currently being used on men, women, children of all ethnicities. Mama Knows products are available at www.mamaknowsproducts.com. That's www.mamaknowsproducts.com. You can also find her on Instagram at Mama Knows Products because Mama knows what you need.
Let me tell you about these products. They are awesome. I use them myself. They smell great. Shampoos, conditioners, moisturizers, hair serums. You want to check out Mama Knows products, and you can do that by going to mamaknowsproducts.com. Why? Because Mama knows what you need. And we've got a couple of comments coming up here. Let's see, and then we're going to get into another one of your books. We have Viva Miss. She says, This is really good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. And let's look at another one of your books and let's talk about it. Because you have co-authored or authored several books. This is one that you authored,
Yeah.
Lupus Journey. Let's talk about the Lupus Journey.
That was the first book. I pretty much, yeah. The poem I came from a mighty long way. That one was actually in this book. It was basically showing you my life before I got lupus and my life afterwards. How I just didn't let it stop me living. Even though sometimes with lupus you get to the point where you can't get out of your bed, you have to be in a hospital for a week, or you just like bedridden. And I had my ups and downs. As from 18 or whatever, it wasn't as harsh it was when I got older. But it was like at that time I was allowed to go to school. I was allowed to graduate. God blessed me to go on trips. I went to London through the community college. We had a travel club. I went through Fiji through a graphic design class. Like I was able to do stuff. I was able to get my bachelor's degree. I was even able to go back and get my fashion degree. I was able to go to school because sometimes that doesn't happen. So
No, it doesn't. And that's what makes you this is an example of strength of a woman. This is an example. She had lupus. She had times when she was bedridden, could not get out of bed. But did it stop her? No, she owns two businesses. Let's talk about your businesses. I know you
Um,
have the design business. Let's talk about
yeah.
that.
Cineik Media is something I started after I got my graphic design degree. I was working in a fashion career or whatever, but it was getting kind of crazy. So God was like, okay, you gonna have to leave that job. And I was like, what I'm gonna do now? I started tutoring kids, but God was like, okay, I want you to start your graphic company. So at first it was Scenic Graphics, but when God was getting at me about publishing Lupus Journey, I switched it to media because I knew I wasn't just going to be doing graphics. I was going to be doing books and print, and, just all the stuff with media. So that's basically how it started. When I first started it, I had a lot of my friends from Detroit. That was my clients or whatever, because they was just starting their books. They're not their books. They were starting their companies, or they already had their companies established, and I was just doing stuff for them. But as they transitioned, because a lot of them got married, they wasn't doing business anymore. So when I ended up going back home around my family, I didn't realize they was all trying to be entrepreneurs too. So I would help build their businesses as well. And I would just try to find people who had like startups or who just needed like something to just start up their business, have like the basic, so they could, if they type that name in, they had something to look at or whatever. But every now and then I try to step out and get more established businesses, because College for Creative Study used to have a website to help like alumni or people who just went to CCS find like freelance jobs. So I would get a lot of my customers on there. But then I met a lady who writes Discovering You magazine. I still help them out a lot, like we do the book the magazine I was supposed to keep on writing. I've been writing there since 2017, I think. Um, so I'm one of the writers. I'm trying to make sure I do it back consistently again. And then every now and then, Dr. T, her name is Tanisha Ford, she'll have a book or something. I will help her with that. Or Tony Coleman, she has books as well. So I just started slowly working on business, building my clientele. But I had to start realizing sometimes it's not about how many people you have. If you got valued customers, value them, because they either know somebody or somebody they know somebody who can help you or something like that. So I quit worrying about I had to have 50 million clients, because I was just like, well, let me see if I can handle the clients I got now. Because if I want God to
Amen.
grow it, I got to be able to handle what I have in my hand now.
And
So
are you looking for more business?
sure, I'm always
Oh,
looking for more business.
okay, so people can go to www.franchisehouston.com to get in touch with you.
Yeah, I should have my information on there. Yeah. And I
Okay.
forgot to put FH Designs on there as well. It's just F at FH F/H Designs.com. But that started in like 2012. Like after I went to fashion school, I wasn't trying to do fashion. I was still trying to just work on my graphic business. But I feel like God was like, okay, you need to do this business too. And then my sister came out of nowhere. Was like, "Well, I don't have money for a prom dress, so you got to make me one." And I was like,
Oh my
I haven't made
goodness.
anything since 2008. What is you doing?" So she kind of like put me in a situation where I had to make her dress. It wasn't.
Well, is
It
that
fit her.
it? Is this it?
Oh, it's. I can put it in the chat. It's
Okay. Well, let me hide this. Put it in the yeah. Put it in the comments so that people will know how to get in touch with you. Awesome. So you design clothes, and so you actually designed her. Do you have pictures of your work?
I have to find it. Some of the pictures of my work is just on my Facebook, just Francine
Okay.
Houston.
Well,
Cause
go to.
I gotta update my website because I got stuff on there that I had before, and some of the stuff I already sold it. So I got to go back on there. Like I gotta take the picture down. Okay, like okay, this I got sold or something. Either they may got misplaced because I moved so much. I got to take that down and put the new stuff that I made. But I just stuck with business casual after that because I was like, anybody else may ask me to make a prom dress. I'm like, okay, you can go to Kayla Woolburn. I'm not doing that no more. I did that because I didn't want my sister to be naked at her prom because she scared me half to death. She was like, I don't have
Oh
any
my
money. I was like,
goodness.
oh my God. I said, I got to do something. She got to get she got to have some clothes to wear. But I did have a challenge this time. Somebody asked me to make them a corset dress, so I haven't made a corset in years, and it's actually turned out well. So maybe I'm just really hard on myself, and I actually can
I
do
think it
something.
sounds like you're a little bit hard on yourself.
Yeah,
That's
because
what it sounds like to me.
I'm used to business casual clothes. I'm used to just stuff that's easy to me. Like where I work at, we make jackets all day, so I can make a jacket in no time. But it's like every now and then you get those challenging people like, "Well, you made me this, but can you make this?" I'm like, in the back of my mind, the next time she asks, I'm gonna send her to Kayla. Like Kayla not getting on my business, but if they try to challenge me, like, can I make a bit of like a nightgown or like a gown for a ball? I'm like, Kayla, there you go, Kayla. But I think they slowly is trying to challenge me. But I started that in 2012, and I had a fashion show at the end of the year, and I was nervous as I get out. And the head designer was gone, so I had to be the first to come out. I'm like, I have never came out as a fashion designer, so I had to go out there, and I had a small support. But after that support came, they was like, okay, Francine, you gotta start making money. I started making money
Yes.
doing alterations and stuff like that. But after a while, I'm just like, okay, I would do a fashion show, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to make sure I do it this well, because it seemed like it just happened out of nowhere. Like I did a photo shoot, and the lady was like, I need a church dress. So she bought the church dress from me. And then I did a vendor and my cousin's salon, and my cousin liked this jacket that I made so well. She bought it from me. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, I shouldn't be surprised. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. But I'm
Right,
just like, I have to make
exactly.
sure this looks professional, because I'm like, I can't say I'm a professional sewer every day and I make professional clothes for the military. My clothing have to be a reflection of that. So I've been trying to work harder to make sure it looks like it's been professionally done.
Well, I'm sure I think you're a little hard on yourself. I think
Yeah,
that's what the problem is.
yeah,
I think that it sounds like there's a little perfectionist in you,
yeah.
but you have to understand your greatness. And there is someone in Atlanta, well, she lives in Alabama now, but she owns a fashion academy, and she also has a fashion agency, and so she might be someone that you can connect with because she does a lot of fashion shows
Okay,
that can expose you and your work. So remind me, and I will make that connection for you.
okay,
And then we've got this. We didn't talk about this
okay. Yeah,
after lupus.
yeah. So I'm telling you how my life was after I got diagnosed, and I didn't think I was supposed to have this book come out at all, because the second it supposed to be Lupus Journey and then a poetry book. Life After came right when I was about to publish Lupus Journey. I ended up getting sick in 2015. Like I supposed to publish Lupus Journey like I think 2015, but I ended up being in the hospital the first week of January because I
Oh
couldn't go to the
my.
bathroom, and I'm on dialysis for 5 months, and I'm just sitting here like I'm talking to my brother that's a nurse in Texas, and I'm like, is this permanent or this temporary? He said, if you do everything they say, it won't have to be permanent. So I just did whatever they said. Like it was extreme because I was at level 5 of the kidney disease. So my kidneys was at 10% functioning.
Oh
And
my
I was just
God.
signing up for the kidney transplant. I was just like, when I went to dialysis, like after I left the hospital, I was like, do you have a list for the kidney transplant? And that's my mother is a Christian now. So she coming to me like, why don't you just believe that your own kidneys can work? And I'm looking at her like, now you trying to act like I'm supposed to have faith right now? Like, I'm just trying to live. Like, I don't even know how long I'm supposed to live. Like, it was that tragic to me. Cause I
Oh
was
my
like, well, I'm
goodness.
dying right here. And you saying use my faith. I'm like, okay, I understand that. Okay. And I said, okay, mom, I'm gonna do what you said. But can you still put me on the list? I was like, it's a waiting list. She was like, see, you ain't got that much time. You might as well just believe for your own. I was like, oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness, your mom said that to you?
Yes, yes. So then my other sister, my younger sister, took me to the dialysis place, and she was sitting there waiting for me to be done. And she was just like, if you want to be the miracle, you need to act like the miracle. And I was like, not everybody up in here trying to have all this faith up in here. I was like, I didn't feel like I was going to die or nothing like that. But I was like, I got to do something. So when I went to one of the ministers, he came to the hospital or whatever. He was like, you need to pray that King Hosea prayer, because Hosea was about to die. He was sick, and he was like, "I ain't did nothing wrong to you, Lord. So why am I dying?" So he asked for 15 more years to live. So
Right.
I
Yes,
stood on
and
that
word said,
prayer.
"You shall not die."
I stood on that prayer, and then the prayer of my Romans, the same spirit that raised up Jesus from the dead, quicken my mortal body. But I said quicken my kidneys, because I was like, I'm trying to live. I can't be, I can't die at 30. I was like 34 to 35. I was like, oh my
Oh
God. And everybody was
wow.
jumping at me, was like, do you have a will? Do you have a power of
Oh
attorney? You
my
need to write your will out. I
goodness.
was like, am I about to die right now?
I
Like,
mean,
what is
they're
this?
feeding you all this negative stuff.
Yes. So my friends kidnapped me and took me to Chicago. They was like, "You gonna do dialysis another day?" Like, I did dialysis 2 days in a row, and they kidnapped me that weekend. We went to Chicago. I said, where am I doing in Chicago?" They was like, "We gonna take you to church," and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to church." I went to
Well, let
church I went to
go
church,
ahead.
and I thought it was gonna be a play that my friend, because I have an older friend named Louise. She's like in her 60s, and I have her daughter is same age, she's around my age. So we was like in our 30s at that time. And she drove me all the way there, and she was like, "Well, we gonna go to church, because my mom want to see you, and I don't want you to be sick." So she was really concerned. And we went there, and it was weird because she didn't do the play. It was a year later I saw her do the play, but this time it was about testimonies. And these people was talking about how God gave them new organs. And I said, well, maybe the Lord want me to be here to
What?
build my faith. Yeah, I was like, the Lord want me to be here to build my faith. So they took me to the back of the church. Cause I mean, I went there because that's the church my friend, her mom got married at. She got married at that church or whatever. So I went to the back and I talked to them, and they was just like, well, we gonna pray for you. Well, we gonna pray that you believe that God will heal your own kidneys, and that God can restore you. He can give you new organs. You don't have to go get the organs from somebody else. God can heal what you already have. And I was like, y'all really, like, y'all real about this? I'm like, this is the second time this happened. Like, everybody just saying, believe for yourself, believe that God can touch your own kidneys. They at 10% functioning. So
Yeah.
I prayed, and after I go to the dialysis, I go to the bathroom. They was like, that's not possible. You had 10% functioning. You shouldn't have to go to the bathroom after you do dialysis. I said, well, I do. I go to the bathroom in between. I go to dialysis, and they're just like, what? So after a while, they started tracking me. And tracking me, by the time it was May of 2015, by the end of May, they made me take this test. And it was like, we really think your kidneys is starting to function to the point you don't need dialysis. And it was like, we want you to take this test. I took the test and I passed it. So I wasn't on dialysis no more. And then they came and they took the catheter out of my neck. I already had the fistula in here, because for like the whole 5 months, I was preparing for a fistula because I couldn't keep the catheter in for that long. By the time they took the catheter out and the fistula was ready, I didn't have to use it. It's just sitting here. And my
Oh my
brother came up to me and
God.
said, I pray. He was like, I hope you never have to use that fistula. Like, you won't need no more dialysis. Oh,
Well, let
sorry.
me. Okay, so God healed your kidneys, so you don't have kidney renal
I
disorder or
don't have
whatever.
I don't have end stage renal disease, which to the point where I could be like, my life could be at 5 to 10 years living or whatever. Because I had a relapse last year. I don't know how, because my I deal with lupus in my blood. My blood got too low, and they checked me, and I was above 60, and I went down to 42. So they was just like, either you on dialysis or you back. They put me back on steroids, but they made me do a kidney biopsy, and they found out I don't have end stage renal disease. So I'm not at that point I was at when I was in my 30s.
Yes,
I'm at a
praise
point now where this
God.
can be managed, and I can get to the point where I can just be in remission of this thing. Like right now, I'm in remission. He about to take me off the kidney medicine slowly but surely. And I've been
Praise
off the
God.
dialysis. No, I've been off the prednisone since last year.
Praise God. That's awesome. We've got some more comments coming in, and so let me. All right, Raw. He says, "Wait, she's a designer." And then he says, you can showcase your stuff at the conference. You can bring some of your clothes, your books.
Okay,
Girl, you
okay.
can make some money at this conference. And
Lord
then
help
he
me.
says, come to NYC and showcase your stuff, your designs,
Okay,
your books. You need to do this. You need to do
okay.
this. And then he says, be on the same stage as Vera. Yes, I plan to be there. And then he says, all Vera, come see Vera. All Vera, come see Vera, support her. And as she's on the stage, June 13th. Remember
Oh,
that,
it's June
June
13th. Okay.
13th. Yes, and I'll send you the link. And
Okay.
I'll also be telling my story as well. Yes. Well,
Okay.
listen, we've only got 5 minutes, and I think I have another thing that I want to pull up of
Oh,
yours.
okay.
We talked to, oh yeah, that's after lupus, the lupus
First
journey, your professional
professional.
book, and then I guess that's all I have.
Oh,
And
I
then
thought you
this
had the
time,
S on my chest, but that's okay.
the what?
The book, the S on my chest, but that's okay.
Oh yes, I do.
That's another self-care book because
We'll talk
I
about
couldn't
it.
I
I'm
couldn't
gonna
give
pull it.
you the self-care guide because I couldn't find like a PDF. I know I have it, but it took me forever to find stuff.
Okay, well I tell you what. Why don't you go ahead and let's talk about the S, the S in on my chest. Let's talk about that right now.
Basically that cover because it's on your flyer. It's just a person
Yes,
pulling
that's
they sleeve
right.
out like they Superman or Superwoman and an S on it. I wrote that book because I wrote in the self care guide. I wrote about physical, emotional, mental, financial self care. I wrote a small chapter. Yeah, that's it. I wrote a small chapter on the Superman and the Superwoman syndrome or complex. And I just said, why not make a book out of it? But I didn't know. I had to read so many books to just get the grasp of what I was talking about because I understood the Superwoman so well because I struggled with it so bad. But I said, let me make it so it can be for men. I talk about the Superman. But it just seemed like the Superman wasn't as bad as the Superwoman. The Superwoman seemed like she was a crazy lady trying to do everything and not sitting down and have a rest. But I wanted to refine the Superwoman, like, okay, if she learned how to have a balance, because it's a point in your life where you can be a wife, you could be a mother, you could have a career. Um, I'm trying to wife, mother, career. You can have a business, and you can that could be considered a Superwoman, but at the same time, you could have all those things and not be considered a crazy woman. You could just be that's the roles you have in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they make it seem like a woman doing all those things is crazy, and they need to sit down and they just either need to be a housewife or they just need to run a career, or they just say, oh, she just need to have her career and not have a spouse, or she can have a spouse but not be a housewife. And I'm like, that's not the way this world works now. People can work and still be married. Like, it's
And
ridiculous.
those are such archaic attitudes and ideas. I mean, come on
Yeah,
now. We
yeah,
are super women and we can do all these things, but it's also important. Self-care is also very, very important, to take time for yourself. And we have, hello Veronica, thank you for being here. She says, I hate lupus. Yes, it is a dreaded disease. And in spite of days and times when she's been debilitated, unable to do anything, a time when she had renal issues that she doesn't have anymore, it's been healed. Thank you, Lord. And I'm just claiming that your lupus is going to be healed as well.
amen.
And
Yes.
this has just been awesome. But let's talk about what are some of the things that you do regarding your self care.
Well, lately I've been trying to make sure I get my hair done because lupus do affect my hair, and I've just been trying to grow my edges back. They back now. Um, I used to try to get a massage a lot, but I got to go back to doing that.
Oh, yes,
Um,
massages are wonderful
I
and they're
learned. Huh.
medicinal.
I learned to start to take breaks because it's like God was getting at me like you always running, even on your breaks you doing something. Just sit down and just sit down. You don't have to do anything. I'm learning to rest. It made no sense to me. Like my mother had to teach me what rest was because I'll get like what's it called, the Energizer Energizer bunny to
Rabbit,
keep on going,
yes.
the rabbit to keep on going. It's like she had to cut the batteries out of me, and like you just need to sit down. That'll help you. That'll help you heal if you can just sit down. Like I'm learning the difference between rest and work right now. Having
Yes,
that balance, because it
that's
can be too
awesome.
much.
I know, and but the thing is, you're still doing it, man. You own two companies. You're a designer. You're an author. You're a poet. I mean, and you're battling this disease. God bless you. We've ran out of time, and I had another commercial I really needed to play. And I'm going to go ahead and play it because it's another conference that's in Miami. So let me
Get
play
ready
this
for an
right.
extraordinary weekend from May 9th to the 12th in Miami, Florida, where minds, bodies, and souls converge. Calling all entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and aspiring visionaries from across the nation. You're invited to the Global Awaken Trinity Summit. Join us for an immersive experience where you'll learn from the best of the best speakers in the industry and hang out with the brainiest minds in business. Network with experts from finance, personal development, branding and marketing, and many other niches. All states are welcome. Indulge in gala VIP dinner and pick the minds of speakers and mentors over a drink. Elevate your journey with mastermind sessions aboard a yacht in Miami, Florida. Don't forget to register. Let's see you there. Mark your calendars and be part of this transformative event. Visit www.globalawakenedevents.com for more information and secure your spot today. For tickets, call 404-992-3971.
Listen, you don't want to miss this event either because it's an opportunity for you to meet and network with other entrepreneurs, other mind people who are changing lives, entrepreneurs, coaches, all kinds of business people are going to be there. I don't know if she's still looking for speakers or not, but you can call her at 404-992-3971. 404-992-3971. And forgive me if you're hearing noise in the background because I'm not in my space anymore. So please forgive me for the background noise. So anyway, listen, thank you all for listening. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here.
Welcome.
And God bless you and all that you're doing. And I do hope to see you in New York on
Okay.
June 13th. I'll send, well, you have the link. You have the link, right? Did you get it from the comments? If
Um,
not, we can talk about it at the end of the show. So anyway, God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And we will see you and have a great weekend as well. And we will see you next week. And listen again, God bless you. Thank you. And if you don't mind waiting, I want to talk to you for a minute, okay?
okay.
All right. God bless. And God bless you all. And we'll see you next week. Have a great, great weekend.
The